Ladles, Angeles Spoons, welcome back to Badgerworks. Today, this stuff. This is just going to be a quickie today. Stop laughing at the back. I have been tidying up in the workshop, which is long overdue. I've also been working on a commission for a customer, which is now finished, finally. While I was tidying up, I was sorting out some of my electrical stuff, electronic components, things like that, and I found a bag of these. Now this is a rectifier. Specifically, it is a KBL 410 rectifier, which is 1 amp, 1000 volts. We're not going to be doing anything with 1000 volts, don't worry. Why do I have this, you might ask? Well, this is, as I said, a rectifier. Now, normally a rectifier, hopefully you can see it on there, it says AC. So normally what you use a rectifier for is you put alternating current in and you get direct current out. So it rectifies alternating current to direct current. But it can do other things as well. And this is one of the things that's piqued my interest, shall we say. Now, I've seen this a couple of times on social media like Instagram and things like that. And I realised that I have all the bits to make this little gadget. And it should, if it works, be quite useful. So what we have is obviously this rectifier. We have a voltmeter. This is 0 to 100 volts voltmeter. We have a little power socket thingy. And we have some 1000 ohm resistors. So let's see if we can figure out if this thing's going to work or not. So like I said, I've not done this, so I don't know if it's going to work. I'm hoping it will. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it'll be an interesting experiment anyway. But what we're going to do is we're going to make a little device for testing electronic components. So let me show you how it goes together, and then we'll see if it works. So what we need to do is take our rectifier, and we need to connect the positive and the negative of the voltmeter to the positive and the negative out on the rectifier. So that's easy enough. We'll just solder those on. Oh, we would if I could find my glasses. There they are. Right. So I have some. Now, people moan at me for saying I'm using soldering paste when I mean flux, but it literally says on the tin solder paste, which is why I always call it solder paste. But the people who have said it are actually correct. It is in fact flux, not soldering paste. Soldering paste is something different. Soldering paste is a flux that has little beads of solder in it, and you actually use it as solder. So anyway, but that's the point. So we'll put some flux on there. Now the ends of these are already tinned, which is useful. So we will get some solder, and we're going to solder this onto here. Oh, he says as it doesn't work even slightly. Try that again, shall we? Oh, come on. There we go. Right, and then we'll do the same on the negative side. Oh, come on. There we go. Right, so that's that. Now we take one of our 1000 ohm resistors. It's kind of funny how much stuff I have in this shed, and I completely forget I've even got it. Right, oh god, no, it's not going to come out of the bag, is it? Of course it's not, because why would it? Come on, out you come. There we go. Right, put the rest back in the bag so they don't get lost and or dirty. Right, now what we're going to do is we'll just cut this wire down a little bit. I always keep these little bits of wire, they're quite useful. You can use them for all kinds of things like bridging terminals and stuff like that. but that's not what we're using it for today, obviously. Right, and we want to put this on the positive side and try and do this without disturbing the rest of it, which we probably will, but we'll see. Oh, that's a bit, oh, there we go. It's a bit of a blob, but it'll do. Okay, so now what we want to do is take the yellow control wire and put that on the other side of the resistor. Let's get some flux on that and on that. And we will put that not really got it very well. Let's try that again. There we go, like that. Right, now we have a couple of bits of red and black wire here, and we're going to use these to attach our power socket. This is a normal, like 12 volt, you know, power socket. So this one is the negative, so we'll just put that on there like that, and this one is the positive, so we will put that on there like that, and then we will solder these. Let's just move this out of the way for a second, and a bit of flux, and some solder. That's that one, that's that one. Right, and then now we want to connect the other end of these to the internal, if you like, positive and negative. So okay, let's see if we can do this without making a complete dog's breakfast of it. Oh. Oh, come on. Right, and this goes on this side, like that. Right, so that's that. So now we have our power connected. Now I have two further pieces of wire. These are a bit longer. These are about a foot long each, but that's so we can use them sufficiently as probes. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect those to our positive and negative here. So let me see if I can get these in place without desoldering everything that's already gone on there. I'm going to tin these wires first. This is why I'm having so much trouble. There we go. Right, now that's that one, and tin this one as well. Like that, and then hopefully we can solder this on here without everything all flying apart. Oh, like that. Oh. Oh God. Stop on yourselves for a minute. Oh, this is one of these jobs where you need like 53 hands. Right, there we go, that's got it. Right, now, let's see if this works. Right, so, I've got here a, this is just plugged into the 12 volt block on the wall. So if we plug this in, we can see there that says 11.5 volts. Okay, so actually I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me take that out of there for a second and we'll pop that there instead, and then hopefully you can see it. Right, now this is where the fun starts, because if I touch these together, that should zero out. And it does. Look at that. Right, now we can try something exciting with this. Let me get an LED. I don't have any LEDs here. Get some LEDs. Oh, right. I have a box of LEDs here of varying colours and sizes. And the reason I'm using this is because I'm hoping this thing's going to work the way I think it's going to work. But what it should do is when you power an LED using this gadget, it should tell you what the voltage is of the LED. So let's see now. Let's see if this works. It'd be great if it does. So positive and negative, and there you go, 2.97 volts. So call it 3 volts. So that needs 3 volts to operate. You see? Oh, that's perfect. That's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. I mean, there's no reason why it shouldn't, but I was always a bit dubious. But now here's a fun thing. Let's try this. Oh God, if I can get one out. So this is a 3mm white LED, and I want to see what this one does. So we'll put that on there, and that's 2.87 volts, so it's using slightly less power, but that's still good. Right, now let's try a different colour. Let's try a red one, because red LEDs are notorious for wanting far less power than almost any other colour. So this is a red 5mm LED. 1.96 volts, so 2 volts to run that. Isn't this thing great? I love it. This is fantastic. Now you might say, well, what's the point of this when you buy LEDs they already tell you what voltage they want? Yeah, they do, but sometimes it's nice just to be able to check. Right, this is a UV LED, because what the thing is, it's like with a lot of these things is they'll give you a voltage range. So they'll say, like, you know, 1.8 to 2.2 volts. Whereas with this, you can see exactly, see that's 3.1 volts. So you know exactly how much power is needed for this LED, you see. So that's UV. Now let's try something a little brighter. I just happen to have here, this is what I've been using for the project I've been doing. Out you come. This is an Epistar diode. This does not have a positive and negative written on it, but I think that side is the negative. We'll see. So this is a 1 watt Epistar diode. I think this is the right way around. No, it isn't. .79 volts. So 1.8 volts for that. Isn't that great? And that was all just with stuff that I had in the workshop. So, do you know what? The funny thing is, I have absolutely no idea why I bought those rectifiers. They have been sat in a drawer for years, and I cannot for the life of me remember why I bought them. But anyway, that's beside the point. So this now works. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do it now, but at some point in the not too distant future, I'm going to basically either make or 3D print a box for this stuff to go in, so that I can just keep it and use it whenever I need to. But there you go. I just thought that was a little interesting little side thing while I was tidying up. I know it's not much, but you know, I thought it might be of interest to some of you. So yeah, hopefully you like that. As ever, I'd like to thank my top tier patrons, Howard, Amy, Chris and Hawaii Clive O, for their continued support. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers. Bye.